precarious balancing act with high stakes on the line. Is this the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of audio mastering? Many of us consume music, whether actively or passively, while disregarding a crucial step in the audio post-production process. I've discussed the topic of mastering with RIAA Platinum Award-winning mastering engineer Julia Stobos. Mastering is the final step of the audio post-production process. Today, I will cover its purpose, the main tools it uses, and its evolution throughout the years. The purpose of mastering is to finalize a mix before release. As stated by Nardi's 2014 article, Gateway of Sound, Reassessing the Role of Audio Mastering in the Art of Record Production, mastering should highlight and improve features that are already in the mix. Critical errors made during the mixing process, such as overcompression or clipping due to excessive gain, are unable to be corrected in mastering. Mastering emphasizes the intentions of the artist. Thus, drastic changes are not to be made, whether they be artistic or corrective in nature. According to Romanovsky's 2012 article, The Art of Mastering, the goal of mastering is translatability. In the real world, music is played back on a variety of sources, from headphones to large speakers. The average person does not listen to music on studio monitors. Ensuring that music has a consistent sound regardless of the playback medium means that the artist's intentions will be accurately perceived by more listeners. A set of tools are used to arrive at this finalized sound. Mastering utilizes equalization and various forms of dynamic range manipulation to achieve the final product. According to Romanovsky, the mastering engineer uses equalization based on various factors. In mastering, equalization is most commonly applied with the goal of rebalancing the frequency spectrum of a mix. Another use of equalization in mastering is to gain headroom. As low frequencies contain more energy than higher frequencies, attenuating low frequencies enables a track to be pushed louder without distorting. According to Devine's 2013 article, Imperfect Sound Forever, Loudness Wars, Listening Formations and the History of Sound Reproduction, dynamic range compression is utilized to increase the loudness of a song. This is accomplished by reducing its crest factor, or the difference between its peak and average levels. By definition, a lower crest factor implies less dynamics. Thus, the mastering engineer must balance loudness and dynamics in a way that is suitable for a given track. On the subject of loudness, it is also the main aspect in which mastering has changed over time. Mastering has evolved over time through a process known as the loudness war. According to Hagbayon's 2020 article, Temporal Trends in the Loudness of Popular Music Over 6 Decades, the mean loudness of music has increased from negative 14.4 decibels full scale in the 1950s to negative 8.2 decibels full scale in the 2010s. As a consequence of this industry-wide pursuit of loudness, music generally became less dynamic. Dynamic range reduction can be achieved with compression, peak limiting, saturation, or clipping. Depending on the tools used and the manner in which they are used, they can have varying sonic signatures. These sonic signatures, as such, are responsible for how music sounds. According to Nardi, mastering engineers now give clients separate masters for distribution on different platforms. Multiple loudness guidelines have emerged in an attempt to regulate the loudness war. Normalizing music playback to a given loudness, for example, negative 14 loudness units full scale, in the case of Spotify, removes the incentive to push a track louder for the sake of loudness per se. As discussed in a personal interview with mastering engineer Julia Stobos earlier in this year, loud tracks are not only turned down, but are also less dynamic at the normalized playback volume with this format. In conclusion, mastering is a meticulous balance of trade-offs that finalizes recordings before they are released. I've explained the purpose of mastering, the main tools it involves, and how it has changed with time. Mastering is the final step of the audio post-production process. Perhaps no other combination of words can describe the delicate balancing act of audio mastering as concisely as the following quote by mastering engineer Bob Katz. "It's not how loud you make it, it's how you make it loud." Thank you for your attention.